I think the other thing that people don't talk about as much, but it's like what happened in California in the Palisades. It's the same reaction, right? And like you'll understand everything about a culture based on their reaction to like defining events. So the Mangione thing, everybody was making jokes on Twitter. That guy.
Yeah, just for people who don't know, this is a guy who went and assassinated a healthcare company.
Allegedly.
CEO.
Allegedly?
Yeah. No,
I don't
he
know.
killed him.
Yeah.
I was sent this clip because apparently Andrew Schulz, comedian, attacks the woke left when he went on the Triggernometry Podcast, if that's how you pronounce it, because I recently showed a video of Andrew Schulz being destroyed. So many people were like, Isabella, Andrew Schulz is not woke. And so I was sent this clip. So I'm going to blind react to it together. But apparently, let's just watch Andrew Schulz shutting down, calling out, roasting the woke left. Let's get into it.
You know, Francis and I love America. It's an amazing place. But do you think that's maybe where the other side of another coin comes in, which is the culture here is so obsessed with making money that people will do some pretty horrific shit as long as it makes business sense.
And it almost like feels justified.
Right.
We have a saying, I don't know if you guys have it there, but like it's just business.
Yeah, no, we don't have that saying.
No, we don't.
No.
But it's ridiculous saying like I could fuck you over, but like, hey, it was just business.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not just business.
No.
Like you and I built a relationship based on what I assumed were shared values. And then you did something that broke the trust that I had in you with those values. And I think it's really up. Yeah, there is a little bit of a disconnect. You know, we all call ourselves Americans and we're in this thing together, but sometimes it seems like we have no problem taking advantage of other Americans. And just like with the crypto rug pulls and all this kind of stuff, it's like, well, those are your countrymen. Those are the people that invested in you. And yeah, they invested it based on greed. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you're allowed to fuck them over. You know, maybe they had optimism about what you were about to offer them.
Yeah, well, no, you can be a really big fan of capitalism, but also recognize that there are extremes to it.
We, 100%. I think one of the big issues in America is, I was just doing the All In podcast, so I want to like credit them for this idea, but like, I think the reason why a lot of Americans feel like a lack of hope about their ability to be financially successful, is it comes from, I think like post global financial crisis. So like after, what is that, 2008? In order to like get the economy going again, I think the Fed dropped interest rates to like 0%.
Yeah.
So you could get money for nothing, right? And if you're somebody who's like financially literate, I'm not at all, but you get levered up, right? You take out as much money as you possibly can and you dump it into a recovering market that you know is going to go up. And I think a lot of Americans that were very wealthy did that. And then they saw insane gains in the stock market. The middle class that had like what we call like 401ks and Roth IRAs. I don't know if you guys have the same thing where you're from, but
we know what you mean.
Right? They were through these investment tools able to get some access to that, so they went up a little bit, and then everybody else got left behind. I think it's very hard to believe in capitalism when it's not working for you. It seems to be working against you. Like all these people here, their wages didn't go up. They keep hearing how great the economy is. Like this shows you, and this is not to rag on the Democrats, but like it shows you how disconnected Democrats are from like actual working class people. They kept bragging about Biden's economy. They're like, Biden has the strongest economy. It's the most amazing. No. The stock market was good. The stock market does not reflect the majority of Americans. The majority of Americans don't even own a stock. They don't even know what the stock is. And what they're seeing is their elected officials going, the economy's great. And they're like, I've been making the same wage at Walmart and shit's getting more expensive. How can you tell me the economy is great?
This is a good point from Andrew Schulz here. It's the gaslighting from the left. It's when you see Democratic politicians telling you basically to ignore what your eyes and experience tell you and just trust the experts and just believe everything we say. And Americans are like, no, this economy isn't working. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Meanwhile, Democratic politicians are like, no, but look at this. This is great. Everyone's so much better off. That's why so many people who literally hated Trump ended up going and voting for Trump in 2024 because they didn't want a continuation of the horrific Biden-Harris administration. So good point from Andrew Schulz on that. Let's get back to it.
Right? And when you feel that, you just feel like the train got on the tracks and pulled away and left you behind. So then you start to have this like anti-American sentiment because America doesn't seem to be working for you. So one of the things that, it's not my idea, but like I think is very important is like, you want Americans to be on board with capitalism, they have to feel the benefits of it. They have to be invested in capitalism. So I don't know if it's given every American 10 grand invested in, you know, S&P 500 from the day they're born that they can't touch until they're 22. But I promise you have a very different sentiment about the stock market, about capitalism, about America, about CEOs. Like, it's hard to hate Elon when your biggest stock holding is Tesla, right? Like, all of a sudden you go, I kind of like this guy. He's doing a good job. Why don't you take it easy on him, right? When every American is invested in the success of American industry, you will have a very different relationship with American industry.
True.
But we've left far too many people behind. And I think as to what you guys are saying, we feel way too comfortable doing it. And we need to get rid of that.
Were you surprised with the Luigi Mangione case, the number of people who came out and were pro this dude?
I think that that's
By the way, guys, if you enjoy content like this, make sure you like today's video and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. We'll get back right to it.
like a really important thing to pay attention to if you have a lot of money in America. I think the other thing that people don't talk about as much, but it's like what happened in California in the Palisades. It's the same reaction, right? And like you'll understand everything about a culture based on their reaction to like defining events. So the Mangione thing, everybody was making jokes on Twitter. That guy.
Yeah, just for people who don't know, this is a guy who went and assassinated a healthcare company.
Allegedly.
CEO.
Allegedly?
No,
I don't
he
know.
killed him.
Yeah, he killed him.
He killed him. He killed him.
I don't feel like we need to
We
worry
got
about
video.
libel
Yeah.
on this one. Yeah.
But
So he shot this guy, and then what happened in the Palisades is there were some fires that burned down an entire district, basically.
and the attitude was essentially, oh, they have another house in Aspen. They have another house over here. Like, oh, it's just rich people's houses. Who gives a f-?
I see what you're saying.
And the sentiment
Such bad optics. Oh my gosh.
is what we were just talking about is like there's a lot of people that are poor here and they feel like the country has kind of let them just stay there as it pulled away and made all this money in crypto or made all this money in the stock market or made all this money on.
The American dream is not for them.
That's what they feel. So now when all those people that they believe, remember people are emotional, so it's like that they believe are the ones that made all the money on the stock market and made all the money in crypto or they're the CEOs. Now that their houses got burned down and one of them gets shot in the head, they go, I don't give a f-. You didn't give a f- about me. You let me sit here like an asshole while y'all took out loans for 0% and then made 22% back on the stock market. You never checked on me and saw how I was doing.
It really puts different groups of people against each other. Like, it just creates and sows division in America, and it makes every group resent the other one. So that's why when the government steps in and creates all these different factions and they turn everyone against each other, that's the friction. It keeps elections alive and it keeps the government and politicians scamming we, the American people. It is disgusting.
Never told me I should get a loan.
And when you think about it, America, nobody does cults like you do cults in this country.
We do believe anything.
Yeah.
You fucking love it.
We
love
do
it.
love believing.
But here's the point. You love believing. So if you've essentially ostracized these people from the American dream, they're separated, they're angry, they're resentful, and guess what? They've got every right to be. You need to be really worried, particularly now that there's the internet where everybody can connect, that they're going to form their own cult and something quite dark is going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not that impressed from Andrew Schulz there. This seems like these are concepts that everyone should basically understand. However, yes, that's how these crazy factions within the American population form. That's why the far left hates the far right and vice versa. So yeah, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment an orange heart, I would greatly appreciate it. It would help boost the video in the algorithm. So help your girl out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.